Today we're talking about lit faith.
Reflections of Purpose.
Hello, my name is Karen Sims. This is Twisted Threads, and you joined us for our Reflections of Purpose. I'm so glad you joined us today. Why? Because we want to get right into our topic, as always, talking about lit faith. Now, I need you to know that this one is definitely high energy. We're talking about how do we keep the faith lit even when obstacles come, even when things come that may be against everything that we were thinking of. So a lot of times when we think about our dreams and aspirations, we push forward and then, hiccups come and things might be on our way. But look, it's important for us to stay full of faith when it comes to our dreams. So lit faith. I always try to mention the way that we do things and how we can kind of impact the people around us, because our energy is actually something that we get to take either from other people or they're depositing in us. There's so many ways for us to decide. And so when we think on the Christian side, it always says faith as a mustard seed. Well, what does that mean? And so I tell the story because as I was raising my kids and me being a single parent, once upon a time, we didn't have a car. So we would go around and it would be like, wow, this is so hard. And so once we got our car and I got my license and we're driving and we're just going all over the place, one of the things people would be like, well, what prompted you to want to get your license now? And I would say, well, it would sound like the craziest thing, but I want to drive on rainy days. Like, who wants to stay in a house on a rainy day? But usually if you have no vehicle, if you got no wheels, you're stuck at the crib because it's difficult to maneuver on those rainy days. So we would literally go and I would put the kids in a car and we would talk about things on our ride. And I know in their mind, they're like, why are we out in this rain? Because we can. That's why. And so my middle son would always say, and we would sing the song, This Little Light of Mine. And my kids would always ask me hard questions. I was ready for the questions of where do babies come from? I'm ready for that. But as we would sing that song, This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine, he would always ask me, who said my light is little? And I would be like, boy, ask me something else. Like, don't ask me that. Who said that your light was little? Maybe that's a message for you to be reminded that your light is not little just because somebody else wanted to give you that idea. And of course, as a young kid, we might think that that's a good thing because little kid, little light. But sometimes we didn't graduate in our thought of big kid, big light. When you think about the impact of a candle in a room, it's a flicker of one flame. But when it goes into the room and literally lights up the entire room, it takes and eradicates the darkness that's in your room. That's what you get to do when you have that lit faith. That's what you get to do when you understand that sometimes people won't always understand the vision that you have for your dream. But when you got that lit faith, I don't know why I always do it that way, but I feel like you got to have that pre-hype before the hype. So you do that what? And then that lit faith gives you the opportunity to push forward. Why? Because they're going to be difficult days. They're going to be hard things. They're going to be things that you have thought in your life that you've been waiting for a long time. And then when they arrive, you got to understand that that lit faith that you had to get to that thing is the lit faith you're going to have to continue to have to keep it. Because what you do to get a thing is that same amount of work that you got to do to sustain it. Look, I'll tell you a little secret. This is our second take at recording this. I need you to know I could have sat here and been like, this is so hype. And I'm so hype about this. And I'm talking about this lit faith. And then we got a malfunction with the technical stuff. And it's like, oh my goodness. What am I going to do? Well, we're going to keep on being lit. And we're going to continue with it. Why? Because this hypeness is contagious. This energy that we have to want to see you win, you got to understand that just because things are happening in a particular way, this entire day is like, well, I could have been like, oh my goodness, that's just so bad. What are we going to do with this? And worry about it. But because we've already decided that we got a mindset to win, we take this lit faith and let it light up the room. Literally let it light up these videos. Let it light up your life, and you get the opportunity to be impacted in a very amazing way. Look, it's so many things that we've got to do in our world, but you got to be reminded to have that lit faith, to have that excitement about that thing. Even if nobody understands what it is that you're doing, and they say, oh, crazy Joe, we don't know what he's doing, or crazy Danielle, you know, I'm calling my kids because sometimes it's them that's the crazy ones, but sometimes they'll say to me, Ma, you crazy. Why do you do the things that you do? Why do you have these messages out there? My middle son always says, oh goodness, my mother is taking over Facebook. Look, I haven't done it yet, but since he said so, we're going to put it on the goal success list. It's so many things that you have to understand, that even when I'm bringing these messages to you, I'm not just talking about this. I'm living these things. So when we talk about struggle, when we talk about how to get on the other side of depression, when we talk about how to create healthy boundaries, I'm doing this work right along with you. The only difference that I want to remind you of is this: because I have lit faith, I believe in the dreams that I've been given. I believe in the vision. And sometimes it doesn't always come in a way that I can articulate it to other people. So maybe I said it to this one person and they were like, ooh, that sounds crazy. Okay, they're not your partner. Don't let somebody else dim your light. Keep that what? Lit faith. Don't let them dim your light. You just know that they're not the partner for you to work with. But if you continue being strategic about where you're sharing your dreams, and understand this, do not disqualify yourself just because you see somebody else moving forward. Maybe somebody else has a story about divorce. Maybe somebody else has a story about domestic violence. Maybe somebody else has a story about, you know, the biggest thing that we see now is a lot of the things that are on television, and we see the different championships that are going on. We see so much that are going on in our world, and you see the book release, you see the album release, and you're thinking, oh goodness, they did it, so now I can't. You know, I'm in their circle. You gotta tack on to that flag and that kite and keep on flying. Why? Because you're a missing link for somebody else's story. Somebody who presses play for me is like, oh, Karen, you know, she's nice, but I don't know about that lit faith. You know, she loud. And they may be able to accept the message that you give. I love it because I try to exude this energy everywhere that I am. And so when people come into my office, I have a couple of things in my office. I have a cup of hope in my office. And a cup of hope is filled with chocolate. It's my thing. You can judge me if you want to, but I don't really care. We also have a bucket of love. So we got hope and love. So when people come into my office, yes, there is chocolate in the bucket. Yes, there is chocolate in the cup of hope. And usually when one is low, they're like, oh no, we're running low on hope. Well, let me get to the store and get us some more hope. That's an evidence of how you can operate in having that lit faith. You got to be excited about the things that are going on. Sometimes I'm talking with the auditors. Look, we need to make sure that they got lit faith. I got faith that whatever they're looking at, it's going to be a good thing. But on my list, I'm looking for to add my jar of joy. Because I'm like, now we got hope and we got love. Now we need some joy. And we might need some faith. And I normally keep a bracelet that I wear. And most oftentimes, it's a conversational piece, because in our business world, when people see me wear a bracelet that just says faith, that's it. And they're like, oh my goodness, that's dope. You know, or usually they don't say dope, they say that's nice. And I'm like, I know, isn't that dope? Like, we got to keep our heightenedness alive. We got to understand that even though sometimes, as I mentioned, things are going to come, expect them. But as you're expecting them, you're preparing for it. Just like on a rainy day, you're going to take your umbrella so you don't get soaking wet. That's the same way you got to be with your lit faith. What? With your lit faith. Because it's important for us to push forward. It's important for us to make sure we secure the win. And when obstacle comes, just like this, take two. Here we go again. We get the opportunity to be just as enthusiastic as we were the first time around. Maybe we missed some things. It's okay. You get the picture. You get the message. You got to make sure that your faith is lit. And for those people in your life that try to remind you or try to tell you that lie, that this little light of mine, you no longer have a little light. Because as you share it in a room, it becomes big just organically on its own. Look, it's Twisted Threads. We're excited about where it is that you're going. But without that what? Lit faith, you're going to fall off to the wayside. And we don't want to see you do that. Remember to like and share these videos. As always, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Why? Because we got to figure out a way to what? Keep our faith lit. We're excited about where you're going. Hopefully you're excited about the journey that you are on with us as part of our Twisted Threads family. And as always, what? Get lit with it. Make it an amazing day.